I mean, you don't need money to experience love and sunsets. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Like the best things in life you don't have to pay for.
Amen. That's one of my favorite ones. As I listened back, I stepped away from this last month, and when I listened to that one kind of choked me up a little bit. It's funny the ones that kind of become your favorites over time, but yeah, I feel like that's definitely one of my favorites on this album. And the guitar work and everything is reminiscent of that like 70s era when it was like James Taylor, Jim Croce, that era of songwriter guitar music. So yeah, I'm so excited for everybody to hear this stuff, man. So pumped about it. It's like giving birth to the biggest baby, like in music land for me.
I do want to go to Wild Palomino next, but I'm going to have you set this up for me because I was, listening to the record. This feels more like just a good old classic country song. Kind of talk me through this one before I hit play.
Yeah, so Wild Palomino, that was my goal. Some of my favorite all-time songs are songs like He Stopped Loving Her Today, George Jones and things like that are timeless, that have this like cowboy aching feel to them, so this is definitely the most classic country song on the album, and really, really proud of this one. I feel like this song is really, really special.
Continuing with our iHeartRadio album release party for their new record called The Comeback, let's play Us Against the World. Maybe about finding love for the first time back in the day.
That's exactly what that is, and that's exactly the scene of my first real girlfriend that I ever had. I did have an old S10 pickup truck. It was a 1983 black with all red interior, red seats, red door panels. That is exactly that way. And her mom did say, he plays guitar. What is he going to do? Like what, I was that guy in a band, there's a line in there that says, your mama didn't like my 6-string dreams and said you could do better than a wreck like me. And that's one of my top 3 on the album, though, to me. Us Against the World. That one is, and it's just my youth. It was my first girlfriend.
Our last song is Out in the Middle. First time I heard this song, I thought, well, this is a celebration of regular folks who don't get celebrated enough. Would you say that's
absolutely? That's a great description of it. And anybody that I know that's not from the South, they're from LA or New York or whatever. A lot of people, when they come down here and, wearing their get-ups or whatever, and when they come down and people kind of make fun of redneck people until they start doing the activities that redneck people do. And then they fall in love with it. And then they start carrying a knife in their pocket and a flashlight. And then it's like, then it's on, right? So it's one of those things that you don't understand until you try it. But I always remembered when I was a kid, always hearing, A Country Boy Can't Survive, hearing that song and thinking that's a very cool way. And it's not that we all got a lot to learn from each other. You can learn stuff from city folks too. But I loved how in Hank Jr.'s song, he was talking about his friend that lived in the city and they were friends and connected. So, but yeah, this is that thing. And all of those images in this song are present where I grew up. I grew up in a small town, and that's the things that you see there and the people that you meet out there too. And people kind of make fun of it. They would hear like sounds coming from all the way across over the neighbor's yard, and they're like, what are they doing? But until you get to go participate, don't be talking trash, because I've never seen anyone that didn't come down and start doing the things we do and not love it.
Zach, your live shows are unparalleled. I mean, I've been to many myself, and I don't go to a lot of concerts because I tend to get jaded. You see everybody, you kind of go, okay, this is just what it is. But you guys are so good, and you play all the hits, but then you also pick, songs to cover that like you take in a new place, songs that aren't even that people would consider in genre. Like I've seen you do Metallica. I've seen you do Dave. I've seen you Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, how do you decide what covers you're going to do? Because there's quite the pressure that you guys have put on yourself because you're so freaking good.
Oh man. This year for the comeback tour, I let everyone in the band pick a song. It's got to be a song that everyone would know. I let pick their own song, and then we learned them and made this big collage of songs of them singing that song, not me singing it. So everybody in my band can sing. My drummer can sing, my bass player, everyone can sing. So that's been fun this year, letting all of them do it. And so, yeah, every year you got to have some curveballs. You got to have some songs that no one would expect us to play. Whether it's Rage Against the Machine or Foo Fighters or Kings of Leon or you know, whatever it may be, it's you got to have some curveballs in there, and getting to do cover songs, because I mean, when you're listening to the radio, it's great sharing all of our songs, but you kind of need a break, you know. I think everybody and some of those curveballs, some people may not like or understand or whatever, but they're in it with us when we're playing live. And there is a lot of pressure of like, how are we going to top what we did last year on tour? How are we going to get that kind of reaction to, you know, from the crowd? How do we surprise them with things, reminding, because it has to be songs that at one point everybody loved, but it's been long enough that they've kind of forgotten about them.
I got one more for you. It has to do, we're talking live show right now, and the tour, the comeback, the record, the comeback. Well, when you start a show and that very first song that you're playing, because the crowd's been there, they bought tickets, they've been there for hours, they've watched, you know, whomever open. Like, what are you leading with on this tour? What's the first song you come out and go, we're back?
You know, that's one thing. We change our set list every single night, but the one thing that we've done this tour to start it off is we play Homegrown. And that's been the lead off, you know, batter for us, just to get the energy and the vibe right and everything, just to kind of settle in. So, you know, we changed that up over time. But for this tour, that's the one.
There it is.